Couldn't do that for too long, honey. I was Joan of Arc in my former life. Sagittarius, April 2019. Wow, Sagittarius, Jupiter went stationary retrograde yesterday, right? April 10th. Same day that we got the photo of the black hole, right? The black hole is at about, I think it's 2 degrees of Virgo. So it's an immutable sign. It's interesting to find out what sign the black holes are actually in and at what degree. I was talking to a fellow astrologer and tarot reader about that. She's on YouTube. You guys know her, very, very well known. And it was just interesting talking to her about those things. I don't know how the black hole might affect anyone. It probably wouldn't affect you unless there's something on the direct degree right there, conjunct. That's what she was saying. So that would be interesting to find out. So I have about half an hour for you guys. So I'm just going to get through this. I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. And then I'm also going to pull some bonus cards from the Romance Angels Oracle deck, from the Chicoli Oracle deck, from the Doreen Virtue Archangel Power Tarot deck, and then I'm also going to pull a card from the Runes Oracle deck, okay? So I've shuffled your cards from the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. I've laid them out. There is a card at the bottom of the deck. I've seen it. I like it. I would like to tell you guys that if you like the video, please like it, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot. I'm also NYC Kendrick, Kendrick NYC, and the Tongue Pop if you like food. I read at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery every Sunday. Last Sunday I was sick and I'm still a little bit sick, but I'm there from about 12 to 4 or 5 depending on how busy I get. Okay, and then I am also open for readings, personal readings if you like those. So at the bottom of the deck, you got the moon. So this is talking about completion. It's also talking about cycles. It's talking about cleansing. It's talking about your body. It's talking about emotions. And it's also talking about the effects of things and how things may have taken its toll on you. Because 1 is the awareness and 8 is strength and courage. So you may be aware of the level of strength and courage that it might take, right? You're identifying with that. You're also declaring yourself to be strong while you're going through this emotional state that you guys might be in. You might be feeling emotionally fulfilled, and some of you actually might just be feeling some things coming to a culmination or coming to a completion. We have a full moon at 29 degrees of Libra, coming up on the 19th, 18th, 19th of April, which is towards the very end of Aries season, going into Taurus season. Venus does rule this full moon energy that we've been going through all month, and she will also rule where the sun will be next month, right after the Libra full moon. So Venus will definitely be taking effect as we go, continually as we go into Taurus season at the end of this month and next month. Mercury will be going fully direct later on in this month. He'll be getting into Taurus, he'll be going into Aries, and by the time he gets into Aries, we'll be feeling a little bit better about that. Mercury is the esoteric ruler of Aries, so I think that we'll all benefit from Mercury being in Aries. We'll all put a lot of energy and more aggression into our the way that we communicate. We'll be very direct in our communication, and we'll be sort of like, just more upfront with our communication. There won't be as many hidden things behind our communication like there was during Pisces season. Mercury is debilitated in Pisces, so it makes it a lot more difficult to kind of communicate quickly and get to the point, or just be very logical about the way that we process our thoughts, because it's talking about thinking about your feelings or processing your feelings, because Mercury is a planet of processing things, and the moon is a planet of processes as well, because it goes through these cycles of evolution. So there's always a process with the moon. That's why it's 18. It's 1 and 8, which is 9, which is talking about, it's echoing that Virgo energy. It resonates with that that Virgo energy of processing things and being of service. But this is being of service, you know, to yourself, or this could just be being of service to something that you feel very close to, because we feel close to the moon and the moon feels close to us. That's why it tugs on us at times of, you know, the full moon and the high tide. Okay, so I've gone on and on about this. So if some of you are women, this could be saying that you need to be carry those feminine products around with you because your cycle might be coming on. Some of you might even be aware of your process, your cycle not happening, and you might be thinking that you could be possibly pregnant, or you may even be feeling intuitively that you might be pregnant. This could be some secrets that somebody might be withholding. Maybe you know some information that you might be withholding that will eventually come out. This could be information coming out for all of us, you know what I mean? Just like, you know, in general. But let me continue, Sagittarius. So the card that's talking about you, oh wow, this is amazing. You got the Queen of Cups. So that's a need to express yourself emotionally, and the moon is talking about expression, right? It's talking about evolving and wanting to express yourself in lieu of this evolution that you have been experiencing, in this process that you've undergone, that you've gone through. And with Jupiter being in your sign right now, and it's definitely, you know, showing you a thing or two as it goes into its retrograde mode. We're sort of like reviewing all of those things that have sort of like come to us at this point. I know I have Jupiter and Uranus conjunct at 6 degrees of Sag, and I have a Sagittarius South Node. Oh my God, so gross. But the Queen of, sorry guys, the Queen of Cups is talking about a need to express yourself, a need to nurture and experience. You want to nurture your own self-evolution, right? This is cold. You want to nurture your own self-evolution by being of service to that. That's why you have the moon here, and it's 18. You have to be committed to that. And it's a part of your expansion, with Jupiter being in your sign right now. Your creativity is on point. You know, you're feeling more illuminated as yourself, you know. You understand that, you know, your life has to achieve a point of acceleration, right? And you have to start to admire parts of your life that have changed, right? So it's almost like you're stepping forward into this new reality of self, and you're processing this information and how you feel about it, and you know you want to nurture more of that, because some things are being illuminated for you that you probably didn't know that you cared about before. You know what I mean? Because like the moon in relationship to the Queen of Cups definitely talks about being pregnant with something or pregnant with someone. And being pregnant with something, that just means that you see the potential in something. You see the fertility in something, because these two cards are very fertile. So some of you are very fertile. Some of you have very fertile creative ideas, right? Some of you understand what those creative ideas are, right? You feel like you can zone in, you can focus in on like capitalizing on that. And you might just be pregnant with some very potent creative energy coming in by way of some other things just kind of like naturally dying themselves. This is kind of like an evolution itself too, because you know when a death happens, you definitely evolve. You know, there's evolution there. You're evoking something. Scorpio is your 12th house, so it really is talking about something hidden. The moon rules the 12th house. If we talk about Scorpio and the death card and how it's related to the moon is actually in its fall in Scorpio. So after we have this Libra full moon, okay, on the 18th, 19th, then the moon immediately goes into Scorpio right after that, okay? After the, you know, when the moon is directly full, minutes after that, you know, I mean, not even an hour after that, the moon will then be in Scorpio. So you guys will probably be feeling that in your 12th house, and the full moon energy being in your 11th house, you know, of friendships and, you know, wishes and things like that, you know, and that's ruled by Aquarius. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is ruled by Aquarius. And, you know, Aquarius is talking about confidence, and it's talking about friendships. There might be some friendships that end, or there might be some friendships that just sort of like come to a place of feeling a swelling and like an emotional process that's been underway for some of you. It could be relationships with the mother, definitely transforming that. That could be feeling maybe like there might be an ending somewhere in there. Some of you may even be experiencing a death somewhere in your life, or somebody that you are connected to that you might be nurturing through an experience that might be having a death in their family, right? So that it might not be happening to you directly. It could be happening to someone that you know, and you might just be sort of like being there for them in whatever way, shape, or form. And this is kind of like bringing to your awareness the evolution and the cycle of life and things like that. So you kind of are like embracing your life a little bit more. That's why I was at the beginning of the reading, I was talking about how you guys are just kind of like really looking onward towards the future. And with Jupiter being there, you're like, what really does matter? And the moon wants to talk about what really does matter. The Queen of Cups definitely wants to talk about what really does matter. And so does the Death card. The Death card wants to show you what really does matter by exposing you to your fears and showing you how to push past them. Because that's the only way that you're going to show yourself that you are stronger than your weakest weakness. You know what I mean? Or your strongest weakness. Or you know what I'm saying. So this is talking about weakness as well, but it's also talking about strength, emotional strength. Because 13 is 1 and 3. That's a 4. That speaks to the Emperor energy, right? This is ruled by Pluto and Mars. Mars rules the Emperor, which is also Aries energy. And being that the sun is there right now, which is going to be illuminating the moon in Libra when we get to that full moon energy, being in Aries, a fellow Mars ruled sign of Scorpio, which is your 12th house of hidden things, okay, blockages. All of that is relative, right? Your aggressions, because you know Mars is a fiery planet, and for you that sort of like it speaks to you as well. Where's Mars right now? Mars is in Gemini, so that's opposite you. That's in your house of relationships. You know what I mean? So that there's a lot going on with you and your relationships and your friendships, and also the relationships that you have with the matriarchs in your family, grandmother, mother, aunt, you know, that type of thing. Daughter, mother-daughter relationships, transforming that, finding new structures within your life, killing off the old structures, right? Because you are aware of how you have evolved and you really want to nurture that new part of yourself, okay? So now let's look at the sun position. Wow, this is amazing. You got everything you have right now is water, which is totally opposite your energy. So you could really be being affected by the things that have been going on. I mean, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because the high priestess, you know, that is Neptune and that is Pisces energy. Pisces is a fellow Jupiterian ruled sign by you. Venus is there right now, so that kind of is, what is that? That's like squaring the energy of the of Jupiter being in Sagittarius. Am I right? I think I am. And Mars being up there in Gemini is also bringing some attention to that mutable energy. We're adapting to changes, and the challenge for you is not wanting these things to evolve, or not wanting these things to change. Maybe the relationship between you and a female that might be a water sign, or you and a male person that might be a water sign too, because this male could be a Scorpio, it could be a Cancer, and it could be a Pisces. We could also have it being like a Taurus energy too, which is opposite Scorpio. So if that's your 11th house, then that would mean that, who are we talking to? Sagittarius. No, Scorpio is your 12th house. So then that would mean that Taurus would be your 6th house. Okay? And that have to adapt to a change in your everyday life. You know what I mean? And that might be the challenge of transformation for you. I don't know. Some of you guys could even be moving. I don't know why I'm getting that. Maybe that's a Jupiter thing. Some of you guys could definitely be having kids, you know, because when Jupiter goes in people's signs, like, they get married, they have kids, you know, you expand in many different ways. The high priestess in the sun position is saying that, you know, there's something to be revealed to you, or maybe you're going to make a choice, or maybe someone is going to make a choice to reveal something to you. Because the high priestess, you know, being Pisces energy, and then it being a 2, Venus is there right now. softening the blow to the Mercury retrograde, because, you know, Mercury is a planet that kind of like, you guys are kind of like at odds there. But being that it's squaring you right now in Pisces with Venus being there, I feel like she's bringing a little bit, she's softening the blow, right? She's bringing a little bit of a nurturing energy to your life. You guys might even be being a little bit emotional about things. You might be crying sometimes, or you just might be going to these places of emotional depth, because the moon talks about that, the Queen of Cups talks about that, the Death card talks about that, and the High Priestess talks about that. But you are definitely tapped into your intuitive mind, your psyche, right? You're listening to your dreams, or you're aware of your dreams, right? It's almost like because things are happening in your dreams, almost even in your everyday life. Because Pisces, that's a very glamorous energy, and you are very glamorous too, but it's almost like you're very like socially glamorous, and like there's just a great abundance around Sagittarius, and that's why, you know, the glamorization of the sign is there. But Pisces also has it too, because Venus is exalted there, which she is there right now, and Jupiter is also another ruler of Pisces. So that's sort of squaring you right now as well. So that's probably something that you're feeling. You're wanting to communicate for sure. You're wanting to communicate some things that probably have been hidden or have been under the surface to someone, possibly, right? To just bring a little bit more clarity to a situation with them. You may have gained some wisdom, and now you want to sort of like you want to share that wisdom with someone to sort of like mend some fences, or you want to share that wisdom with someone so that they can sort of understand who you are now as a person, and that, you know, you have evolved and you have changed, and that, you know, maybe this is what is the impetus for the ending, for the culmination. Because just because you're coming to someone and you're telling them this to sort of like, you know, smooth things over, doesn't mean that like we're good again. It could be like, I want to smooth things over before we say deuces, you know, that type of thing. So, wow, in the moon position, now your energy is in the reading. You got Mercury in Sagittarius, and I was just talking about Mercury, right? Being in Pisces. So this being in the moon position, this is saying that, you know, there's been a lot of different changes in different ways and different experiences that have come in, you know, just even over the past year for you, right? Leading up to the Jupiter being in Sag, and like now we're in that energy. It's just saying that you are aware of all of the changes that have occurred, and you want to really think about those things. You want to process these changes. You want to process all of the opportunities that might be coming your way. You're thinking about like, you know, the risk that might be involved. You're thinking about like all of the different things that have like, sorry, that have happened, and have shown you how strong you are, right? In your mental fortitude, and it shows you the range at which you can endure, right? Things physically and emotionally. Because the eights are talking about strength and courage. And when you make it through, like I said, pushing you through to the point, then you can identify with a feeling of splendidness that comes with the pushing through, right? Identifying your weaknesses, understanding how vulnerable you can be and where your vulnerabilities lie, being committed to create things out of those vulnerabilities, from those vulnerabilities, which are going to make you, which are going to, you know, generate opportunities for you to identify with those vulnerabilities, push past them, and embrace them, you know, really sort of like sit down next to them and get for you, right? Because this is energy coming in, right? Communication, things, opportunities, to show what you can do, right? To celebrate who you are. Because it's talking about the eighth house as well, which is talking about transformation, right? It's related to the Strength card. So these are some things about, like, you know, evolutions of the heart that are changing. It's showing you strengths and weaknesses, because when you think of an 8, there are different parts. Now you sort of like weakened the strength of the circle here, right? This is like the moon at the beginning of the reading. So then that and the, you know, the Queen of Cups, she's emotionally strong. The High Priestess, very strong in the intuition. Okay, so then when you take that and you compromise it, then it just shows you, you know, like where your strengths and your weaknesses are, because you become compromised. So this is also making you feel a little bit compromised, which is okay, because sometimes in order to embrace and take advantage of opportunities, you have to compromise somewhere. Okay, let me go ahead and flip over the rest of these cards because I have to get going soon. Sagittarius Mars. I said I was going to give y'all like 35 minutes. Okay, so while I talk about the cards that are out, I'm just going to shuffle these. So, in the past, you have the Nine of Swords. That's Mars in Gemini, okay? So, with Mars being in Gemini, this is talking about, you know, your mind sort of like really going crazy. It's very active because it's a 9, right? And that's related to Hermit energy, which is Mercury rule. So, this is a very active mind. And Mars is talking about aggression and destruction, right? Destructive thoughts. So you may have had some destructive thoughts in the past, right? That were creating certain roundabouts for you. It was like a cycle of depression that you might have been in the past, right? And you were dealing with that, and you were trying to deal with it on your own. Maybe some of you are actually going to therapy now, or maybe some of you have like decided that you may want some form of therapy. It could even be holistic. You never know. You know what I mean? There are many different forms of therapy. Usually people don't really like going down and sitting down and talking to somebody about their problems. You know, I feel like you have to experience things in order to heal from those things too, because you have to show yourself parts of yourself that you haven't seen before, and just talking about it won't get you to actually experience it. It'll, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's just me, and I don't have a degree or any sort of like I don't have any degrees in psychology. I should. Anyway, so yeah, that's what the 9s are talking about. And they're talking about processes, right? Getting through a process of depression, getting through all of that. The 9s are talking about cycles and circles as well. So this 9 is saying that there's a level of strength that you push past, right? You're really showing yourself how strong you are now. Yeah, and the 9, let's see. The 9th house is Jupiter, right? Or I mean Sagittarius. So that's talking about, you know, philosophies, goals. You have to keep stay focused on the goal here. You know what I mean? Because you are sort of like contaminating your own mind with thoughts that really aren't even, have no weight to them. Okay? You're just going over and over and over again. Or you were doing that in the past, and you've chosen like that won't work for you anymore, because you see where it got you emotionally, right? You were emotional wreck. Maybe some of you guys were. Okay, let me cut these. And related to the moon position, we have your card that's in the anxieties, and that is the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is talking about having anxieties that, you know, these opportunities that you have coming in, right? And the offers that you have, you know, the risks you fear that they won't come to a place of stability or to a place of form. You feel like you're just nervous about it being celebrated, or it being, you know, like coming into a place of really giving you structure and foundation, right? You want to make sure that these things actually do like stick, right? Because these are like arrows that you kind of want to have stick at your goal, you know, at the dartboard. This is like accomplishments, understanding what those accomplishments are. And it's, you know, you're being given the opportunity to accomplish a lot, right? So you just have to practice some discernment, understand that some of the things are going to fall through, and some of the things are actually going to hit. And that's what I was talking about with the circle, and then it being compromised when it twists into that figure 8. So it's like, you know, there are weak points and there are strong points now. So it's saying in the weak points are going to allow things to fall through the cracks, right? And the strong points are going to have things stick. So don't worry about everything working out, because most things are going to work out, and that's what this card is saying. You know, this is a really great card. You know, it is in the anxieties. Some of you could be having anxieties about a relationship or about a marriage, right? That could be something. The 4s are talking about the Emperor energy. So this could be like somebody who's a little bit dominant in a relationship. That may be what you guys could have had some anxieties about in the past. Maybe this person was dominant in a relationship that you were in. You know what I mean? And that's why, you know, you were so aggressive. You were such an aggressive thinker and such an aggressive communicator in the past, because this person made you feel like they were just a little bit more domineering or dominant in the relationship. For some of you guys. And some of you guys could just be having some anxieties over what you feel like you are able to accomplish, or the opportunities that come in. Okay, I've shuffled those and cut those. So yeah, also in the Mars position, you have Mercury in Cancer, which is the 3 of Cups. This is talking about, you know, the 3 is related to the Empress, which is talking about creativity and expression, nurturing that creativity through expression. And then Mercury is talking about, you know, how are you pushing that forward so that it's understood? How are you communicating that, right? That creativity. The 3s are also talking about children. Like I said, some of you could be having kids. Some of you could be talking about having kids, wanting to do that. And maybe somebody else doesn't want to have them. Okay. Also, the 3s are related to Gemini and Mercury energy. So you guys might be dealing with the Gemini. You know, you might be ending a relationship with a Gemini because of a third-party relationship that they may have been involved in, right? Because you just don't feel like you want to be a part of that type of situation. You don't want to date multiple people, right? I mean, maybe you do want to date multiple people and somebody else doesn't. You know what I mean? Like they want to be this with you, but this isn't what you want. You actually want to be able to date multiple people. You know what I mean? Because you've already done the thing before where you've been involved in a one-on-one relationship, something monogamous. Oh, okay. And that's just kind of like, you know, you want something different now. That's kind of like what I'm thinking too. So yeah, you know, you just need to be communicative of that. Tell people what it is that you want so that you can create that reality for yourself. You know what I mean? Because the 3s are talking about concepts as well. You know what I mean? And understandings, things coming into form. So if you communicate what it is that you want, right? Because it's a Mars position. And if you communicate what you want, then you can have that, because then you are creating something. It's almost like the law of attraction, because the 3s do talk about the law of attraction. It's like the first form, and then out of that first form comes multiplicity. So then there's possibilities there's like almost endless possibilities, you know what I mean? Because multiplicity, you multiply the 3, then you multiply that again, and you just keep going. You know, so the 3s are fierce. That's why it's my favorite number. That's the number that I started seeing right before I found those tarot cards. Okay. So let's look at your future cards. Okay. All right. So, past you got 9 of Swords. Present you got Queen of Cups and the Death card. In the future, in that row, you have the Page of Cups. So this is, you know, that could be a young person. That could be a child. This is talking about, you know, like I was saying in the beginning of the reading, you want to nurture an experience. The Page of Cups is talking about, you know, an experience being nurtured by way of, you know, learning through lessons of karma, emotional karma. Or maybe it's like karma that involves like things that you can't really get to that are a part of your subconscious, or that are a part of you, like the water is a part of your body. You know what I mean? Because it talks about generations as well. pages are young energy that are ruled by a very old energy, right? The pages are ruled by Saturn. So then if you talk about, Saturn and the pages, you could be talking about generations, right? So this is, you're healing through generations of something, of karma or emotional karma, or you're healing your emotions that may be coming from like past life things. You know what I'm sorry. In the moving energy 6, so it's talking about communication. That's Mercury. And then the 6 is talking about, routine efforts. Being in the 6th house, your day to day, your job, right? This could be talking about more money coming to you in the future. You could be investing in some projects. You could be investing in something that is going to bring you more security, right? And this is also saying that when you spend money, you make money. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but that's what I'm getting. So you might just even be having to spend more money on something that you want to see come into fruition, right? Out of your aggression to express your creativity. Okay, in your Venus placement, which is like your advice and your relationships, like how you're relating and making, how can you get a more harmonious, pleasurable experience out of what this reading is telling you and what it's sort of like bringing up into your head. It's a 9, so it's related to the Hermit, so that's mutable energy. This is Moon in Sagittarius. So this is saying that you are really sort of like very focused and stern in your evolution, in your evolutionary process, and understanding what your new philosophies are. And you are sort of reaffirming your goal, resetting your goals. You're also kind of like seeing which goals you have reached, and which goals that you still want to have stay there, and which ones that you want to throw out of the window, because some things don't apply now, as things have changed. So let me go ahead and flip over these bonus cards that I have for you. So from the Archangel Power Tarot deck, you got the 4 of Swords. So this is Moon in Libra. So I was talking about that full moon in Libra. It's coming up. So be mindful of that. There might be some things that complete for you in your 11th house of friendships, or, some things that may have to do with confidence. Maybe you might be building your confidence. Maybe your level of confidence may be being stroked, right? Your ego might be, I don't know. Insights that come from quiet meditation, right? Because your 11th house is talking about meditation and therapeutic practices, right? Holistic things, unconventional things. Insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. All right, and let's see what the Romance Angels Oracle card says. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So for some of you who are having feelings for some out there, yes. And this could be feelings that you're just having subconsciously with yourself, things that you're realizing that are coming to the surface. They are real and they are worth exploring. It doesn't have to be in a romantic relationship, for those of you who aren't, even though it says romantic feelings. Come on, keep it open. Now, and from the Chicoli Oracle deck, ooh, victory. So, it's kind of like, not doing whatever it takes to win if you've already won. Don't go too far. If you've broken up with somebody, don't go posting stuff on social media just to add to the, put salt on the wound. Dig it in a little deeper. Don't do that, okay? If you've won, you've already won. You don't need to push it forward and make someone just feel like you've macerated them. Just let it be. I don't know why I pulled this, but this is your card, Knight of Gabriel. Time to take action. Great passion for a cause. Instinctively knowing just what to do. Confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. You guys could be running into somebody that makes you feel like they're very attracted to you and they're very flirtatious and they're very like into you. That type of thing. And you might just be going out and having fun and being into people and just getting to know different people. You know what I mean? For sure. And it's a responsibility to yourself to get out and have more fun and do more things. Be more active in a way that you haven't been. You know what I mean? You got Lagus. So I believe that this is one that talks about intuition and the feminine energy. This could be like a Pisces type of energy. Let me pull this one and then I'm going to get out of here. Hold on, y'all. Don't leave me. What number of the card is this? Okay. Water. I'm going to read it to why I show you the card. This card is inspiration. The rune is tied to the fertile power of creativity. Didn't we talk about that? And all these water cards that you open the reading with, the moon, the page of cups, the queen of cups, the death card, the high priestess, the three of cups. A siren on the shore of a body of water is lost in thought. Her expression is inspired and happy. She seems to be in harmony with the surrounding nature. Just as water is necessary for plants to grow, so imagination is necessary to give color, strength, and meaning to our lives. A romantic vision and the desire for beauty bring about an interior evolution and an increase in our power. Are we in contact with creative energy, or do to remove it as it frightens us? Talked about fears at the beginning of this. How do we feel when we are in love? Full of energy, shaken, intimidated? Are we afraid of change? Lagos brings empathy and increases understanding of ourselves to others. Okay? And at the top of the reading, you're dealing with choices in money, you're dealing with choices of how you're going to choose between two people, how you're going to make these investments lucrative for you, and how you're going to sort of like get to a place where you can create more for yourself. But this is saying that you are going to have to spend money before you can make money. Okay? All right, Sagittarius, thank you so much. I'm going to leave you guys and go do my Pilates with my clients. I have 5 classes, 5 hours of Pilates. I love you guys. Follow me on Instagram at NYC at Kendrick NYC, Providence Tarot, the Tongue Pop. Okay? And also follow Shanti Bookshop and